My name is Eudene Thomas, a graduate student at Liberty University, studying health and wellness. My presentation today will be on interpersonal communication project, enlarging the conversation. My introduction says, good communication is just as important in business, family, and social life. Listening well for co-workers when intimacy is not the goal, but being able to work together effectively is. It helps keep friendships vital and even makes a difference in casual relationships where you really want ease. This is from Peterson's book on page 4. Identification of an overachieving goal. Becoming the best that I could be in whatever I decide to undertake. I have never believed that I was an overachiever, but believed that I could do just about anything if I tried. Nothing was off limits. I can attest that whatever I tried, I gave it my best. My background and behavioral blend. Place of birth, Barbados, the West Indies, in the Caribbean. Migrated to the U.S. as a teenager. Life in Barbados growing up with my mother, sister, and cousin was almost idyllic until my mother immigrated to the United States and left my sister and I with relatives. We were moved from one relative to another relative for the next 8 years. As a child, my sister and I endured influential messages as Burley Allen states, don't argue with me, don't interrupt your elders, don't be forward, children should be seen and not heard, be quiet, you're too young to understand, don't speak until you're spoken to, look at me when I'm talking to you. And these influenced me in my development so much that I used them as a parent in raising my daughter. During the years of separation, my one person who was understanding was my grandmother, my go-to person. I have never liked being the person that others wanted or would like me to be. I always preferred being my authentic self. And Burley Allen also says on page 29, people tend to duplicate throughout their lives patterns they experience in their early years. The behavioral blend was not a blend, but a dogmatic undertaking, defining potential barriers. When flat brain syndrome. When we are flat brain, we definitely cannot hear well, see accurately, think straight, or act sensibly. The stomach is overloaded of emotions, which presses the heart functions as if it was a brick directly into our chest, which quickly sends all sensibilities south, and then the upward to the brain flattens against our skulls, and at that time we lose control of our thinking, hearing, and seeing. Perception, reception, and attention. Burley Allen says on page 50, our perception about a person, a situation, or a subject can influence our reception and how much we will pay attention. The interrupter. When the subject is of personal interest, I anticipate and wait for the person to stop. And so I can argue or present my thoughts or ideas. But if I become impatient, I interrupt. External distractions. The peripheral noise, the abundance of, not listening at level 1. I will identify and provide solutions to noise prevention. Identifying and providing solutions to noise prevention. Acknowledge noise pollution. Step 1. Acknowledge noise pollution, sources of noise around you, let's say busybodies. Step 2. Remove peripheral noise by eliminating the source. Step 3. Simply pay closer attention. Plan of action with my achieving goal. Be a better listener, consult in health and wellness, continue to be the go-to person, do the best and be the best that I can be. Communication skills. Listening skills, talking skills, conversational skills, group leadership skills, persuasive ability. All of us need to be related and matter to others. John Stewart says on page 366, those who communicate well gain value and interpersonal power. Communicating skills involve forming bonds through love, ultimate relationships, caring, nurturing, understanding, emphatic listening, warmth, attention, and other characteristics of intimate relationships. Inviting others to join the conversation. People have different ideas, different opinions, and each can be heard without fault finding of each other or what each is bringing to the table or discussion. Sometimes we need to adopt a worldview in order to accommodate other cultures and beliefs. Susan Campbell in Bridges Not Walls makes the remark on page 423, I hear you and I have a different perspective. Resistance and or conflict to communication skills. The Fireproof video is an excellent example of positive and negative communication in any relationship, and the theme that runs through this video is never leave your partner. Fear of change. All of us have fear of moving to another level or doing something differently. Communicative aggression is a destructive personality characteristics attacking the self-concept of others, says Stewart on page 375. And engaging in aggression, lashing out, may cause physical violence. Enlarging my conversation. The conversation should not be just between me and you, but it should move to a wider audience, moving beyond my comfort zone in communication. The second Diaspora Conference in Barbados 2012. I attended this conference, and for those who may not know, diaspora means the spreading of people from a national group or culture to other areas. The goals and objectives of the conference. I applied Peterson's 4 goals as he talks about it on page 31, so I would not encounter the flat brain syndrome during this process. Number 1, reduce emotional disturbances. I had no transportation and was becoming emotional about how I was going to get to the conference. Number 2, clarify thinking. I did work through it mentally, and I was able to get transportation. Number 3, increase my self-confidence. I stepped into the building, registered, felt empowered, confident, and joined the crowds, and I knew not one person on a personal basis. And number 4, build supporters, friends. By the end of my first day, I had met people. I had met 2 other people from the Facebook conversations, and I left the conference feeling ecstatic and happy that I was there. The ability to attend this conference that brought together people from a variety of cultures to share and enhance. The listening skills were enhanced just by my watching the dynamics, the presenters, the interaction, verbal and nonverbal between attendees. The groups from Cuba, Brazil, and Panama. One lady from Cuba who was in tears speaking of the grateful opportunity and the thanks that she had to be able to attend the conference. Barbadians have roots in all these countries, Brazil, Panama, and Cuba. There was conversations at every level possible. I cannot forget the youth. There was a session directed for the youth alone, which was well attended. The youth presented a unified front, disciplined, asked many questions, looking towards a positive future for themselves. There were many institutions represented by the government and private companies. Food was excellent. All of that was included in the $50 registration fee. It was an event worth attending, and I am glad that I had the opportunity to do so. So to conclude, Communication can be a positive or negative entity. In chapter 25, Peterson elaborates that it is more than a skill depending on how it is approached, indulged, expanded, and accepted. Burley Allen concludes with the importance of listening and how it enhances one's life, especially when emphatic listening is applied and practiced. John Stewart, in his writings, shared many concrete and different aspects of communication that will create bridges and tear down the walls that we have built since childhood.